Good evening and welcome. I'm Rich Peacock, one of the co-chairs of Peace Action of Michigan. The other co-chair is Linda Darga. Linda, right there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We're glad you are here for a wonderful evening of awards and entertainment, something that we all can use at this particular time. I want to begin with a land acknowledgement, which is what I'm going to say now. We acknowledge that we live on the traditional and contemporary lands of Michigan's 12 native nations. We seek to safeguard this land for generations to come. We therefore declare this land to be a nuclear weapons-free zone. And we pledge to advocate for the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. That's what we acknowledge at the beginning of our meetings. This is the 20th time we've done PeaceBuilder. And we have people here who have been honored in the past as PeaceBuilders. And one of them, who is not here tonight, we need to give special attention to. Many of you know that Rudy Simons has been in hospice care for the last several months. Unfortunately, he died early this Sunday morning. He died peacefully, and Roseanne is very comforted by that. She requests no phone calls or contact at this point. The family wants some time. Rudy was one of the first PeaceBuilders that we honored. You may know that Rudy was a poet, and some of his poems were put to music. I want to share one of the poems without the music. So, this is one of his poems, a tribute to Rudy Simons. It's entitled, Cinnamon and Saffron, Cocoa and Cream. Oh, life is full of flavors, taste them. The air is rich with fragrance. Breathe in cinnamon and saffron, cocoa and cream. The images keep changing, the patterns rearranging. When monochromes have ended, there comes a rainbow. How splendid! And dreamers delight in a dream. The orchestra has colors. Listen. The universe is endless. Reach out. Red skin and yellow, black skin and white. Cinnamon and saffron, cocoa and cream. By Rudy Simons. Now, I'm going to announce the PeaceBuilders over the last 20 times. Going back to 1997, PeaceBuilder number 2, Reverend Peter Doherty was a PeaceBuilder, and at the last minute he couldn't make it today. But I want you to remember Peter. Also in 1997, we honored the Gray Panthers, and tonight they're represented by their leader, Randy Block. Randy, come on forward wherever you are. 2006, number 6 was Rudy Simons. In 2008, at the 7th PeaceBuilder event, Kim Redigan, come on forward. 2010, number 8, Chuck Altman. 2011, number 10, Sigrid Dale. Ron Dale is here, and we've asked him to bring the picture of his spouse. So that's going to be wonderful. Now, 2013, this is a little bit different. 2013 was Michigan Coalition for Human Rights. 2016, number 14, Colleen Mills. There's Colleen up front. Also 2016, and then again in 2023, Bill Meyer. And then in 2018, number 16, our wonderful, longtime peace action leaders, Helen Weber and Frank Lamont. Helen and Frank, come on up. And then in 2021, number 17, it was Laura Dewey. Hey, Laura. And 2022, Kim Bergier and Rich Peacock. Where's Kim? Oh, very good, very good, very good. Also, 2022, Keith Gunter. Keith, come on up. Now we have 4 people to honor tonight. The first one is Yusif Barakat. Yusif cannot be with us. He's living in Montana now, but we have a good surprise. So here we go. Yusif Barakat arrived on Ilis Island from Haifa, Palestine on his 12th birthday. He never forgot that he had been a displaced refugee, and he has wholeheartedly protested for the freedom of Palestinians. Yusif was the founder of Access, the Arab community the nuclear bombs campaign, some 5 times. He protested at the School of America against the training of right-wing fighters and assassins for South America. Then he protested against the making of cruise missiles at Williams International, committed moral obedience, and was arrested. He went to advocate for justice to Palestine with several delegations. In 2010, he was one of the 85 allowed into Gaza to deliver humanitarian aid. In many meetings that you have been in, Yusif, you've heard him, constantly call for the oppression of the Palestinians to be lifted. He spoke up for justice for the suffering people in the Middle East. Yusif participated in a number of walkathons for the Palestinian Aid Society. But he didn't walk, he ran, and raised $10,000 over his last 3 runs. Yusif has lived a dignified life, advocating for human rights. We salute PeaceBuilder Yusif Barakat, and to represent him tonight is a good local friend, Lynn Hausch. Will you welcome Lynn, please?
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lynn, and Yusif asked me to accept this award for him, and I'm honored to do so. Yusif moved to Montana with his lovely daughter, Flori, and Yusif was not able to travel, so he asked me to say a few words for him. When will we stop thinking about violence and war as the solution, and instead create a new harmony? Peace. We are on sacred ground. First we decimated Native Americans. Next we enslaved the black man. Now we are killing the Palestinians in the Holocaust that we have created. Teach your children that the earth is our mother. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the sons and the daughters of the earth. Teach your children that the earth does not belong to us, that we belong to the earth. This we know, that all things are connected. Like the blood which unites our family, all things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the sons and the daughters of the earth. We do not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. O birther, father, mother of the cosmos, you create all that moves in light. Focus your light within me and within us, and make it peaceful and useful. Aho. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Lynn. You expressed Yusif's wonderful spirit in a powerful way. We are grateful.
That's beautiful.
Clara Lawrence was the smiling face of the Swords and the Plowshares Peace Center and Art Gallery at Detroit Central United Methodist Church for many good years. She organized countless art displays and numerous gatherings of peace and justice organizations, including the Detroit area Peace with Justice Network, which we call what do we call it? DAJPN. Thank you. No one can count the times that Clara graciously provided snacks over 30 years. Clara has been a community organizer, organizing such groups as Women in Black, Veterans for Peace, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, the Green Team, and the NOAA Project, a Detroit Central United Methodist Church serving the hungry and the unhoused. She has supported Detroit Central's striving to be the conscience of the city. Currently, Clara is a leader in the Michigan Peace Council and the Michigan Move the Money Coalition. Like Yusif Barakat, Clara protested at the School of Americas in Williams International. She has demonstrated in her email address, which is Clara for Peace. Clara has followed the admonition of the Hebrew prophet Micah to do justice, act with mercy, and walk humbly with the peacemaking God. Let's hear it for our 2024 Peace Builder, Clara Lawrence. Clara.
Thank you all very much. I think I just want to say that so many faces and people I see here are people who have brought me into the peace movement and doing the things that I have done. And it's because of all of you. So I just want to say that this award goes to all of you, really not to me, because I am who I am because of so many of you. And thank you for helping me walk at Williams International, for my sons who taught me to teach peace in a different way, and hopefully continue that throughout my life. So thank you all very much.
Before Dr. Fran Shor was a professor and author of books like Dying Empire, Weaponized Whiteness, Soupy Sales, that's right, a book on Soupy Sales and the Detroit experience, and his latest book, Peace Advocacy, The Shadow of War. Before he was an author, Fran was a peace and justice activist. So, back to Fran's genesis as a steady protester. In Minnesota, Fran protested the Vietnam War and was the first one in the state of 10,000 lakes to publicly refuse induction into the Army. One time, when he was protesting Nixon's aggression, he was beaten by police and thrown in jail. Fran protested Israel's invasion of Lebanon way back in 1982, and the U.S. nuclear bombs in New York City in 1983. Like Yusif and Clara, he protested the maker of cruise missiles by Williams International. He blocked the entrance to that military-industrial complex and got arrested. Fran's bio includes participation with the New American Movement, New Jewish Agenda, Witness for Peace in Central America, Michigan Coalition for Human Rights, Occupy, Black Lives Matter, and of course, Peace Action of Michigan. Yes, Fran stood up against Bush's wars of aggression in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yes, Fran lives by Dr. Jean Perrin's slogan, "I'm already against the next war." And now, Fran is the member of Jewish Voice for Peace, busy trying to stop the Israeli Defense Forces' offensive wars on Gaza, the West Bank, and Lebanon. Please greet 2024 PeaceBuilder, Fran Shor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rich. Thanks to Peace Action. Thanks to everybody in this room who I know. Most of you have been here struggling against war, for peace, for justice. And I just think that it's important also for me to acknowledge my loving wife who's here, Barakat. She's the one who keeps me grounded when I fly off the handle. Believe me, the last few weeks I've been flying off the handle. Also, friends who are here, who are more than just sounding boards for my ideas, they're comrades in struggle. You know, the books that I write always try to remind people that there were incidents in the past where peace and justice forces came together and were able to push back enough so that things changed. Remember during Reagan's administration, he had an overwhelming majority of the vote, right? Well, what did? We got out in the streets, we opposed nuclear missiles, we pushed him to finally decrease the number of nuclear missiles. We're going to have to continue to do that now as the expansion will go on. The same thing with wars in Central America. Witness for Peace and other solidarity activists, some of you in this room too, made it impossible for the Reagan administration to legally give money to the Contras. So they did it illegally through the Iran-Contra, for what you might remember. So I just want to end by saying thank you again and remind everybody with the words of Jody Williams, who I quoted in my epilogue to the new book. She was the recipient for the 1997 Nobel Peace Prize for her heroic efforts that led to the banning of the production, sale, and use of anti-personnel landmines. Neither the U.S. nor Russia, of course, have signed that treaty. Her sobering perspective on what peace is and how to achieve it is contained in the following remarks. If you think that singing and looking at a rainbow will suddenly make peace appear, then you're not capable of meaningful thought or understanding the difficulties of the world. It's critical that humanity reclaims the meaning of peace. Peace is not just the absence of conflict or personal serenity. Peace means actively engaging in the world to create one in which we all want to live. It's hard work, every day. It's about making a commitment to the greater good, even with people you don't like in the world. Thank you.
Now we want to honor Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, Michigan's 12th. Before winning a seat in Congress, Rashida Tlaib was the first Muslim to serve in the Michigan legislature. The Nation magazine has praised her as a, quote, thoughtful and responsive representative with a long history of working across the lines of race, ethnicity, and religious differences, unquote. Representative Tlaib's work in Washington has courageously and competently worked to end U.S. support of the brutal Saudi-led war in Yemen, supported by the United States. She has worked to support humanitarian aid, to get it into Afghanistan. She has worked to prevent a U.S. and/or Israeli war against Iran. She has voted against annual increases in Pentagon spending. And so we honor Rashida Tlaib because Peace Action has lobbied for the same peacemaking priorities over the years. And several times, Peace Action National and Peace Action of Michigan have endorsed her candidacy. Another priority for peace action has been to get members of Congress to pledge and to advocate for the treaty and the prohibition of nuclear weapons. Rashida has signed that pledge with ICAN, the International Campaign Against Nuclear Weapons, and she has publicly supported the celebrations of the treaty held by the Michigan Stop the Nuclear Bombs campaign, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, and Peace Action. She has supported us every January. We are grateful for Congresswoman Tlaib's brave and consistent denouncing of Israeli government campaign to violently carry out a genocide in Gaza. No one has been more courageous and outspoken than our own Rashida Tlaib. Here is PeaceBuilder, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib.
Thank you all so much. I wish I could come into this space and work here instead of in Congress. But I always like to start off, first of all, congratulations to Clara, Yusif, and Fran. But start off with a story about my mom, that I lovingly call Yama. But I always tell this story to young people because I just feel like, trying to connect as a child of immigrants, as somebody that was her translator, I still really am her translator until now. If I'm with her, it's like an automatic thing. Let Rashida do it. But I still remember being 11, 12 years old. I tell this story all the time. It's important to understand being Palestinian for my mom. But I remember being at Sears, and I always had to tell the young people that was a department store. I still remember going up to the cashier like we always do, and she brings up the clothes. And back then it was cutting the coupon that would come in for Sears, and as I'm translating for my mom, the cashier looks at me, the 11, 12-year-old, and says, she needs to learn English. And I still remember, I was like, I don't know, my head started bobbing, and Barb knows me, I just, Southwest Detroit kind of came out of me, and I was like, excuse me, but I'm not translating what you're saying. I'm only translating what my mother wants to say to you. Because she understands you, but people like you are the reason that she doesn't feel comfortable in her, even if it's a beautiful broken, I love it. She doesn't even say stove still, she says stoof. I love it, every bit part of how she tries and how she says it. And I remember at that moment, my mother just leaves the clothes on the cashier, like right there at the table. She just left. As we're walking out, she's telling me in Arabic, this is the last time we come to the Sears, and she's doing that mom pinch. Remember that mom pinch? And she's like pinching me. She's like, I can't believe, out of all the kids, you always are the ones that cause you, not anybody else. I'm the eldest of 14. Yeah. So she's like, out of all the kids, you're the only one that causes me trouble all the time. And she still says it. I'm 48 now. And she as I'm leaving and I'm thinking about this, like years later. This is true, Rev. Years later, I keep thinking about this because these moments came up for my mother. It's because being Palestinian for her was no eye contact. Just don't breathe. Be invisible, and you will live. Wow. It's always been like that. Even growing up, we don't want trouble. Shh. No eye contact. Keep your head down. Don't breathe too loud. And so, as I was growing up, of course, everyone knows my history. I just wish my mother wasn't on Facebook, and luckily she's not on Twitter, so she doesn't know. I've gotten arrested for one fair wage, for access to abortion care, blocking trucks from the Ambassador Bridge owners, and doing all the things I do and pushing back, and I don't know where it comes from, it just comes out. But at this moment, I tell my mom, of course, now, and kind of give her a heads up because her friends end up telling her everything. And she calls and she says, leave it to God. God will take care of it. And I said, Mom, God gave me a voice. We'd go back and forth. And I know it's because she loves me and she wants me to be safe. And so, running for office, of course, so scared. You should have seen her. She was just like, okay. you know, again, being so public, so out there, right? It's like, what is gonna happen to my daughter? And so, fast forward, I've been in office 6 years in the State House and then 6 years in Congress. I tell her, Yama, just heads up, he's coming. And she goes, who's coming? And I tell her in Arabic some other words in describing the genocidal maniac, Netanyahu. But I said, he's coming, he's gonna come and speak to her. She goes, they're letting him come? I said, yeah, Mama. I said, you know, a lot of people are just not gonna go, but I think I'm gonna go. And she goes, it's the first time. She goes, okay, what are you gonna wear? And I said, well, I don't know, I'll wear, you know, I have some Palestine flag earrings, I got my keffiyeh. She goes, I'm gonna buy, she gets me a thobe. And it's those thobes, if you've ever seen the Palestine embroidery, it's like the flag. It's the most, I did not wear that obviously, but it was this flag and she was so proud, but I wore the belt of it. And I went on the floor and, you know, usually after she sees me do an action, she will call and ring me and just say, oh, Rashida, out of all the kids, why are you the one causing me trouble? And this time she goes, good, because I told her, the one time I told her, but Yama, we have to protest, but Yama, we tried it your way, and it didn't work. It's now about time we're unapologetic, and we speak up, and we say we have a right to live. And I told her, Yama, I'm there. Our country is addicted to war. I've never seen anything like it. I get tearful because I'm like, I can't even get clean water from my high schools. None of my schools, they got garbage bags over their fountains because they can't get clean water. In the next 2 months, that's what they want to ram in, is a war, funding for war. Not protection for our school system, not protection for many of the communities you know will be targeted. And I just want you all to know, you may not have seen me, you know, out there. I mean, I've been with the, you know, activists with the Rashid family and doing all this and being young, but I was a lot more quieter. I know Barb would disagree, but I really was. And I just paid attention very closely, and I thought to myself, I'm not gonna ever lay down and put my eyes on. I will stare him right in the face and call him, you know, say stop genocide and call him, you know, the genocidal maniac that he is. But I can tell you when I was alone and no one wanted to sit next to me on that floor, all I could do is imagine all of you behind me and the community that stands up and says, we must save lives no matter faith or ethnicity. I always say it like that because it's intentional understanding that many of my colleagues feel others are worthy of life and others aren't. And we need to make sure that we continue to say it in a way to push it back on those that change the narrative and again try to justify this mass killing of so many innocent lives. Thank you so much for this. I can tell you we're gonna have an uphill battle, but no, there's a generation of such incredible young people. I've been in that space. I love it because I'll come into, I don't care if it's an encampment or a protest, you know, outside of Rayburn office building, they're like, you can't talk. I was like, that's okay. I don't want to talk. They were like, because I'm part of the institution, right? But I'm like so proud to be there. I'm like, I don't care. Just give me the bullhorn. Let me do some stuff. Because sometimes I said I need to do this too, even though I work in these institutions that weren't ready for people like us, that speak like us. Because Congress shouldn't only look differently, it should feel differently and speak differently. But I am so honored for this award. This is really such a privilege to be with all of you in space. I can tell you there are more people around our world and our country really who are standing with us and saying enough. This past week I spoke out against nuclear power in our country. And I spoke out again about this idea and again obsession with you know, arms and bombs and you know, nuclear. I mean, just it's unbelievable to me. I knew it was there. You all taught me. You told me it was. But when you get there, it is just so hard to see both sides of the aisle just jump with Joyce just speaking on the floor in a way that is just so disconnected with the majority of American people who want, again, to see us try to de-escalate, try to find some sort of way of bringing communities and people together. Thank you again. Such an honor. Thank you.
4 wonderful peace builders with all of you. I want to recognize the board of directors of Peace Action of Michigan. So when I call your name, will you please stand up right where you're at? Okay. Shirley Chalmers, Linda Darga, Dan Butts, Keith Gunter, Jeff Farah, Trey Green, Bill Meyer, Helen Weber, Frank O'Donnell, Sushma Rao, Prasad Vedagopal, Terry Pritchett, Ken Jenkins, and I'm going to add Jan Peacock. Please say thank you to all of them. We had an exhilarating time, and the exuberance is going to pick up with our music. So, I want to present to you the Bill Meyer Trio with Nate Topol.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exact. song. We're all that old at least. So it's a pleasure being here, like I said. And last year we did something together, and I guess everyone was so impressed with this young guy that they wanted him back again this year. This is Nate Topo, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Topo. Yes. And so this time I said, hey, why not? Oh, well, they invited us to bring a band. So I said, hey, let's bring one of my favorite drummers. And we're so happy to have Brandon Williams here, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Williams. Amazing drummer, amazing. And the one and only Takashi Io on bass. Very fortunate to work with these guys in the jazz world especially. And you know, I've been at Birds for many, many years, 24 years, going on 25, and we're moving now to a new location. So those of you who follow us, we're going to be at the Caju Cafe starting next month on Thursday, December 26th is our first opening night at Caju. So come and join us as we continue our years of open mic jazz jam where we bring the community together in the peace community. We come in and we talk about peace and anti-war at these jam sessions. So please support us for a lot of music. Right now, this young man here, as young as he is, has already gotten a bunch of jobs all around town. He's working everywhere. And he has a job at the Savoy Club, which is Savoy restaurant, it's called? Yeah. Yeah. So he's a house band there on like weekends, and he's only like, he's not a teenager anymore. He just turned 20. He's not a teenager anymore. Still can't get any drinks in the bar. So. But, and we're going to feature Nate. He does this song. He's a great singer, too. He's going to do this song that he does at Savoy Club.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Say the home of happy feet, get you with that rhythm beat. Come along with me, we're just stomping at the Savoy. Say the home of happy feet, get you with that rhythm beat. Come along, let's say we three stomping at the Savoy. How my heart's swaying while the band is playing. Never tired of romping and stomping with you at the Savoy. Enjoy a perfect holiday. Stomping at the Savoy. Thanks, everybody.
All right, Nate Topo. Once again, Brandon Williams on drums and Takashi on bass. All right, so we're going to play one song for each recipient of the awards, and we're going to pick very special songs that relate to them in some way or another. And the first one I'm going to pick on is Clara, because I know Clara better than the other four. I've gotten to love her more than everybody else here loves her. So I'm very fortunate to that. And this is a song that means a lot to her. I played this many times in my life. It didn't mean much to me, but we're playing it for her because songs are associative, you know? Everybody has connections to the songs and melodies. Where you heard the song, who you sang it to, who played it, when you saw it with your lover, whatever. All sorts of things. So this one, the song we all know, it's an old classic, but it's for our dear friend. We're going to do it like a New Orleans style, because all of us like to play New Orleans music, so here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, a dream I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I held my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when days are long. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, this is a song you all know. Let's sing along, everybody. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the forest to the Gulf waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the forest to the Gulf waters. This land was made for you and me. So congratulations, Clara, on your well-deserved award. Yes, she's very shy, as you can tell. Very loved, but very shy. And she's so nervous about tonight that, because it meant so much to her. And I'm just so grateful that this organization gives awards to people who deserve it, like you all deserve it. And certainly Clara does. So let's give Clara one more hand. So here's a song from my buddy Yusif, who isn't here. And very unique individual, as many of you know. Very loving person. And I called him, when I found out he wasn't going to be here, I said, you know, well, what song would you like me to do for you? I really want to represent you musically. And he came up with this right away. And so this is for you, Yusif. To dream, the impossible dream. To fight the unbearable foe. To bear with unbearable sorrow. And to run where the brave do not go. appreciative note, and I hit it. Well, so that was Robert Goulet, please, okay. He sang that original. I had the honor of working with Robert Goulet, so if you ever want to hear the really great version, check out Robert Goulet. We did a thing a few weeks ago for a Move the Money campaign. It was a coalition that formed of 26 groups that are organized together to help move money from military spending to human needs. It's a big movement now across the country, and there's a guy who wrote a song. His name is called Uncle Devlin, and he wrote a song called Move the Money. And so this was a theme song at our event, and now it's a theme song for the movement, and we want you all to sing with us. So this is a sing-along. All you gotta do is, the words are very simple. Move the money, okay? Got it? Move the money, okay, you got it, right. This sweet amount of you, and the Pentagon needs to hear this too. Both political parties play us like fools. We want to feed the people too, yes we do. The more cuts to healthcare, housing, and food. Society is crumbling, becoming unglued. Carjackings, drive-bys, and even mass shootings. We can do it, a lot to change. Why are we fooling? Interest in programs like health and nutrition. No more military bases, guns and ammunition. No money for housing makes us feel crummy. We all must unite and fight to move money. Political parties, plans for fools. Move the money. We want to feed the people, yes we do. Move the money. There's 750 U.S. military bases in over 80 countries. That's a lot of places. The U.S. is the #1 supplier of guns. They end in our streets, killing our daughters and sons. Both parties increase the Pentagon's budget, who never in their history passed an audit. They can't even say ceasefire or hot credit. So it's up to us to move the money. We demand you. And the president, too, needs to hear us. Both political parties play us like fools. We want to feed the people, yes we do. A lot of words there which I didn't memorize, so okay. All right, so that was Rashida. Actually, was at our event a few weeks ago by a video. She gave us a personal message that sent to our event. Some of you were there. It's on the YouTube channel, the Michigan Peace Council YouTube channel. You can check it out because we have Barbara Lee and who actually introduced a bill in Congress to move the money, stop Pentagon people before Pentagon. And I'm surprised Rashida didn't mention that she is just now putting an act in Congress called Stop Politicians from Profiting from War. She's brave. She's one of the bravest Congress people I know. So we're very lucky to have Rashida here in our district. It's so exciting. So we're going to finish out here with the fourth person who received the award. I'm sure he's wondering what the hell we're going to play for him, you know. Fran Shor. Yes, Ray, okay. Fran wrote a lot of books. He's very intellectual and professor and all that stuff. But then he wrote a book about Soupy sales. Yes, that's my kind of book. Because I love Soupy sales. Anybody grow up with Soupy sales? You're too young. You guys don't know Soupy sales. Okay, all the other folks know Soupy sales. I got to work with Soupy too, so I was very fortunate to work with him. And I'm even mentioned in Fran's book, so I'm very excited about that. So I only owe it to him to do this special song for him. This is a theme song from the Soupy Sales TV show. Congrats to all the 4 PeaceBuilder Award winners. All unique, wonderful people who have done great work in their life, like all of you have done. So if you haven't received the award, actually when they started announcing the winners from the past, I was said, why don't you just have people raise their hands who didn't get one? You know? Okay. So there's a few left of you, and you're gonna get it. So hang around long enough. You gotta get old, you know. You have to get old to get it. So now we're gonna do a song. We got a couple more for you. This is gonna feature Nate with a song that he wrote. He also writes songs. A young guy, but writes songs. Books bands, makes CDs, works at clubs, and all that stuff. He's like 20 years old. So what are we gonna do, Nate? What song is it gonna be?
All right, folks. Yeah, we're gonna do an original tune of mine. It's really written about really that feeling you get when you know, maybe things aren't going your way for a certain extended amount of time, and then when things finally do, it's just this magical feeling. So this song is called "I Waited." It's about waiting for things like love, or you know, that golden opportunity to cross your way, and you know, the magical feeling you get when it finally does. Yeah, peace. So it goes something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You saw I fell through the motions without any love or devotions. The days went on and on. It was much too much.
So anyways, I want to play one serious song for you right now. This is just quiet. It's called Peace. And this is about, it's jazz tune by Horace Silver, a famous jazz arranger and writer. And just to play a little chorus through it and let you meditate on the fact that jazz musicians express feelings for peace in different ways, and this is the way that Horace Silver did it. So let's wish you all peace in the world. We all fight for it, and some, hopefully in our lifetime, we'll see it. Thanks for all the work that you do. This is a final song we're going to do for you. And this is about the fact that we're all one family on earth, one world. I'm a world citizen. I don't know how many people here feel that way, but we have no borders. Everyone's the same. We're all valuable. And this song is about that. It's written by a tremendous writer, guitarist, activist named John Fromer, who passed away a few years ago. Some of us know him and love the work he did. It's called Family. It's a fun song, and it's for everybody in the world. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. To protect their privileges, they would drag us into war. But the family will rise above them and will strip them of their power. Guarantee a future against the midnight hour. All of us are members. All of us are members. All of us are members of to remember as you carry out your plan. All of us are members of a family of a woman and man. Soupy, let's do one last nice round play. And on bass, Takashi Ito. Members of a family of woman and man.